I hope there's not too much of a glare. I think you guys can see those, but I'll hold them all up just in case. Some very nice energy for you, Taurus. Interesting. You can see how the first part of the month is all blue, and then the second part of the month there's a lot of red and orange energy. I'll talk about what each of those mean. Looks like the end of the month might be challenged. Like you might have a lot going on in your head. But let's just take a look and see what's going on for you, Taurus. I'm going to move these down so you can see them a little bit better. Towards the first part of the month, it's looking like very calm and nice for you, Taurus. The first card that you're getting is Temperance. So Temperance is a card, it's depicted, there's an angel there. It's not really clear whether it's male or female, but you can see that the figure is just pouring, cups represent the heart element, emotions. So pouring water, the emotional element between the cups. So this is a lot of balanced emotions. There's tranquility. There is calmness. There is just a feeling of peace. And also there's a balance between the emotional world. You can see there's one foot in the water, and then also the physical world. So there's a lot of groundedness in this card. So this is a real card of peace, tranquility, emotional balance, just like a lot of serenity. And that's the opening card for you, Taurus. So I'm really liking seeing that. As you can see too, all the backgrounds of these cards are blue. We had that a lot for Aries too, but it was almost throughout the whole spread. Whereas for you, the first part of the month is all blue background. So blue skies for you, the first part of the month. This is Two of Wands, which is personal power, courageousness, boldness. It's like feeling like you've got the world in the palm of your hand. The world is your oyster. This is like a spiritual journey. And often, because it's a 2 card, there could be someone else involved that is helping you go on this spiritual journey. I'm even going to say it's someone that you either view as an angel, or this could be like an angel guide or angel spirit guide. There's an angel who's helping you get to the point of feeling like you've got the world in your hands, or feeling like the world is your oyster. There's some sort of like angelic presence around you, whether it's another person or again, it's just, spiritual matters. But it's making you feel very confident, very bold, having a lot of access to your own personal power. So that's available to you, Taurus, if you so choose to experience it. It actually, what it shows me too is that, if you're gazing into this ball and you're seeing angels, it could just be a huge focus on the spiritual world. And it's making you feel very calm, have a lot of temperance, have a lot of serenity. It could just be that you're focusing a lot on spiritual matters, and it's creating a lot of personal power for you. So good for you towards the beginning of the month. I also see that Knight of Rods is looking at you for advice. Knight of Rods is a card of, he's a knight. So he has this sort of balancing energy. He can be very daring, very reckless, very courageous. He's the Knight of Fire. So he kind of just goes for it. Like on the Rider-Waite, he's on a horse where its 2 front legs are rearing up. So he's a really fiery card. I mean, on the high side, he's very courageous. He's very, daring. He's got this sort of happy-go-lucky attitude. He just goes for it. He leaps before he looks. And then on the low side, he can be very cocky. He can be very foolhardy. But this is Knight of Clubs or Jack of Clubs energy, and they're looking to you for guidance. They see how that you are connected with the spiritual realm, and so they're saying, how do I get that personal power? How do I get that balance? How do I get that emotional serenity? Because they tend to be overly fiery. And it could be someone that's kind of giving you a hard time too, because they are in reverse in relation to you, Taurus. So there may be a way in which someone's cockiness, you're just trying to avoid that. You're trying to look away from that. You're trying to focus on your own thing. This could be like someone who wants the position that you're in, or is looking to you for advice, or feels a little bit jealous or envious, and they're saying like, how does that person stay so calm and serene? And it may also refer, if you can relate to this, it may also refer to the fact that you want to be daring, you want to be not reckless, but you want to be like kind of in going for it energy, but it's not the right time for that. It's not, he's in reverse. So it's saying, also don't be cocky, don't be foolhardy, don't be overly in a rush to accomplish things or do things. I don't get the sense that you are. I get the sense that you're like calm and stable like a rock, that this person is looking to you for how do they do it. You also have Page of Cups coming up. Also, one other thing I'll say is that this person is generally a fire sign. So Knight of Rods is usually Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. So if there's a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries that keeps looking at you like in a jealous or envious way, or is looking to you for advice as like a leader, that's probably what's going on. They're just trying to find out, how do they stay so calm? How do they stay so balanced? And how do they have so much serenity? They're trying to learn from you. This is also, by the way, usually a younger person. So this could be a young girl or a young boy, or even just someone younger than you that's trying to follow your lead. This is Page of Cups, and Page of Cups is all about just having an openness of the heart, having a willingness, having an optimistic attitude towards matters of the heart. You can see in this card that there's like a fish leaping out of the cup, which is like the heart is leaping. So it's someone who's willing to have their heart open. It's someone who's willing to look at things and say, maybe I'm ready for a new way of looking at love, or a new form of love coming to me, or it's just someone who's open to love. So it could be that through this serenity and this calmness that is open to you, and you've access to your personal power, you may just be really enjoying being a mentor to this Knight of Rods person. Again, it could be a young girl or a young boy, or just someone younger who is fiery and Jack of Clubs like. It could also mean that you're thinking of something to do that you love, like a new hobby, or you may have been thinking about, or painting or dancing or pursuing something that you've always wanted to pursue. You may be revisiting it with this card, like thinking, oh, I'd like to do something that brings more love or brings more joy or fills my heart into my life. So with this serenity that you've accessed or that you have available to you, you may also find that, what's something else that I can do that even brings me more of that? It's a willingness and an openness. So I'm seeing a lot of stability, a lot of willingness and openness. It's a time of just like a vitality and heart-centered activity for you, Taurus. So, and then also too, with this card, Page of Cups, followed by this Three of Cups, it tells me that you might be creating some new friends. This card sort of says, I've got my heart open, I've got willingness. It might be like you're willing, in a period where you're willing to draw more friends to you, or you're willing to make some new friends, because this card is all about social circles. This card is about your community. This is friends, surrounding yourself with friends and family. So these could be the new friends that you make in the middle of the month from your willingness, your serenity, your optimism of the heart at the beginning of the month. So think about that. If you want to surround yourself with new people, with new friends, or even with like loved ones, it could be people from the past or current people, but it's seeming like you might want to be more social. And this says that you can be. This says that there are people there who do share in the same loves that you have, and the same pleasures and the same enjoyment. This, in the Rider-Waite, this card shows three women who are actually holding up cups and dancing. So this is a card of great solidarity. It's a card of I'm surrounding myself with people who love me and I love them and we're like-minded folks. And this is just like a card of social bliss. So enjoy that. If you're open to it, you can bring that to yourself. And you may, if you're open in the beginning part of the month, which it looks like you are, you may draw some new friends to you. You may have some new friends enter your life in the middle of the month. And one of the core focuses is that, I'm seeing that you don't see that you can draw things to yourself because you're afraid it's going to be too much of a struggle. Magician and Seven of Wands say together that, here is, and there, you can kind of see they've got similar colors to them. But they're both very passionate. They've got this red energy. They're optimistic, which is this yellow energy. It's golden energy. Magician is feeling your own personal power and being able to create things through it. This is a focus and harnessing of your will, of your consciousness. Magician believes everything is possible. So he's able to say, I call forth from the heavens, from the ethers, what it is that I want. I'm so focused on it that I actually bring it into being. I bring it into the physical world. I bring it to the surface. I bring it, I can say abracadabra and there it is, because he's so strongly focused on what it is that he wants and he can just will it into being. And he's got all these resources available to him: the sword, the mental element, the wand, the fire element, the cup, which is the emotional heart element, and the coin, which is like the physical manifestation of things, or the material resource. Because this is in reverse, and because it's also in line with your personal power, this is an interesting progression of events. I'm going to come back to the Seven of Wands card and how it relates to Magician. But because I'm seeing having the world in your own hands, feeling personal power, Magician, however, is in reverse. And then there's also victim mentality. So there may be a way in which you're feeling strong and confident and bold, but you don't actually believe in your own abilities to create results around you. And in some ways it may be because you feel like a victim, or it may be making you feel like stuck in victim mentality because of your own disbelief in your own creative, I'll even say magical powers. If you can feel as confident and bold and having personal power as you want, but if you doubt your own abilities to create results, which is Magician energy, you may continue feeling stuck and bound and powerless. So here's what I'll say. Make sure, you can see in both of these images, they're both wearing a red cloak. That's vitality. That's power. That's, knowledge. It's like the blood life force of like life. And it's also, it can be like rage or anger, but it's just that sort of like strength of red. It's that life force energy. So if you can experience either of these things. You can either harness, like this card kind of sits, I see it in a certain way that this card kind of sits in between. You can harness your own personal power and become a magician and create the results that you want. Or if you doubt it, which this card is telling me that you do, then you end up in victim mentality. Because if you doubt your own powers of creation and ability to produce results, then you end up stuck. You end up in victim mentality. This is all just having to do with your own thoughts. So I'm just going to say, see if there's a way that you can harness, this could harness magician energy. This could just be like a lack of focus, because magician is totally focused. He's totally concentrated on what it is he wants to create. If you can feel on top of the world, but if you have a lack of focus and not creating results, it may make you feel stuck. At any rate, I'm going to come back to this and say, here is this card, Seven of Wands, is traditionally depicted as struggle. However, what I usually point out in this card is that he is in an advantageous position. He's at the top of the mountain fighting off everyone else. It also could be C, that he's at the top of the mountain leading everyone else. So this may be, because they are both in reverse, this may be a doubt in your own leadership capabilities. This could, because this is a 1 card and this is a leadership card, there's some leadership energy here. You can see they both have like a wand that they're holding up high and saying, you know, follow me. Or, you know, I can create something. I am defending something. I'm in charge of something. And this guy is usually successful despite adversity. So the meaning of this card is that things may be full of struggle and strife, and you may have to like fight for things. But this is asserting yourself, and so is this one. This is absolute self-assertion. This is the recognition of the self, the formation of the self, the I am card. So what these cards are telling me is that, is there a way in which you're doubting your own abilities to create something? Do you think it's too hard? Is it too much of a struggle to create results? Is it too hard to see yourself in a position of leadership or command? Some part of you is not accessing that. And this card also confirms that. This card is Page of Swords, who is a card that is willing to stand up for and defend his thoughts, his convictions, his ideals, his morals. Swords represent the mind, the mental element. So having your mind made up is very much this card. Or, you know, I'm willing to fight for something. I'm willing to stand up and defend it. This tells me that maybe you're not. Maybe there's something about your mind that you don't have made up. These cards in reverse tell me that, you know, with these friends that you've made or the social circle that you're surrounding yourself with, are you willing to say, oh, I stand for this. I can create these results. Like, there's some sort of way that you're doubting your own mind. You think that it's going to be a struggle if you stand up and create what it is that you want to create. You think it's going to be hard. You think it's going to be like a battle, a fight. So in some ways you're saying, oh, well, maybe that doesn't really matter to me that much. Maybe I don't really care. That's this energy in reverse, because when he's upright, he says, oh, I totally care. I totally am willing to defend what I believe. I totally am willing to stand up for what I believe in. In this case, maybe you're willing to bend that way. I'm not sure, but that's towards the middle of the month. Just be careful that even if you're surrounding yourself with social, family, and friends, be willing to stick up for yourself. Be willing to believe in your ability to create results without having to necessarily struggle through things.